Hello, everyone. So, welcome in. I'm going to do another pick a pile tarot reading. As you can see, the setup's a bit different because I removed the glass top here, and considering that I stream on this table, it's just easier having everything on one table. And I thought it always would be fun to also see my face while I'm doing the readings. I'm gonna try not to look at like the camera too much because it's just funny to me when I'm channeling or tuning into things. I have always thought like it'd just be fun to see, you know, my expressions or whatever as it's happening. And also for anyone that's into like synchronicities and numerology, we have had just like 4-4. As well as like 9/11 on my clock, like it's 9/11 in terms of time right now. So, yeah, but I might just keep this as the new setup for a while because it's just I don't know, it's fun. It's fun, you know. Sometimes you only see the reader and other times you only see the the cards, and I like seeing spreads. Um and I like seeing the tarot readers too, so I just thought I'll smush them both into one. How this is done, it's gonna probably shift over time, but you know, I think this is good enough for the first go. I think this is good. So we're gonna do the reading about what do people see in you? There we go. What do people see in you? And it's basically gonna be like how people view you in general. So some things you might know, some things you might not know, considering, you know, whether they've told you or not, or the unsaid things that like people just keep to themselves about other people, right? We're gonna see what comes up, and I'm hearing that we're going to do 5 piles today, so that's going to be interesting. And this time I am gonna remember to have some time of them being like covered, and then I'm gonna undo them. So yeah, I'm not gonna do the top and bottom of the deck today because I just don't feel like it. So yeah, obviously you could have picked already. I'm just gonna go ahead and flip the cards over. Almost everything is reversed. That's interesting. I don't know if I've had like one like this yet. That's kind of weird. That's kind of cool. Warning, trigger warning, this might not be a nice reading to some extent, because people can view us in a positive light, right? But they can also have judgments that they're not even aware of, or a certain approach that may be a bit more like, oh, that person is cool, but, you know, like they view things in this way or whatever. In general, our uniqueness can be misinterpreted for a bunch of things that are criticized within society. And it's literally kind of on the people thing. It's not our problem, right? That we are XYZ, unless it is an actual problem for us. People just have like a preconceived notion of certain things and might either accidentally be judgy or be judging people because of a certain way they got brought up. Whatever the thing is, if you're not prepared to hear things on how you might be viewed in a light that isn't the best, that has nothing to do with you, you might want to click off this reading because this isn't just positives. This might be also negatives of some sort that, you know, just are better unsaid anyway, right? But at the same time, it can be really helpful to know how people might misconceive us or might see us in a light that isn't clear, right? It's going through some type of lens of some sort that they were brought up with or whatever. So, yeah, I'm gonna jump right into it. See ya in one of the piles, 1, 2, 5. Hello, pile number one. So you got the Ace of Pentacles, which honestly, uh, There's a few things already coming with the reversals, but I don't necessarily want to jump the gun on what they mean or how they're going to come across. I think honestly, the way this is I feel like I still gotta channel this through. The way this is coming across, some people might view you as a person that doesn't always invest in the right things or doesn't always think about the practical means or the practical matters of where you're putting your attention or maybe finances in. Um, it's kind of like you're a bit of a frivolous person that kind of just goes off and does their own thing. But at the same time, what I'm getting is like you're always abundant. You always get what you need or what you want. It doesn't matter where you're putting your resources or attention into, it's your choice. But people just like judging that, I think, because you do have some things or overall aspects and possibilities that they want. They would like to have the option to be spending as much as you do or doing as much as you do. Yeah, it's like you do have a wisdom about it. It's just other people don't necessarily see that wisdom, because it's also, I think you see it completely differently. It's kind of like people limit themselves into spending and focusing on materialistic things or how they invest into things in only one light, right? Whereas you understand that things are temporary. It's there's no point in hogging things or being very frugal or being greedy or otherwise whatever. It's kind of like you understand that things come and go and that everything literally is dependent off of not just your attitude, but how you spend that time with that energy, right? How do you speak to it? How do you react to it? What do you do about it? It's not that you are wasteful. It's just more that you're not holding on to things, thinking they're not ever going to come back to you. But at the same time, you've been made to doubt yourself quite a few times because I feel like you've gotten a lot of opinions about how you spend your money or something along those lines, like how you spend your focus, like what you invest into. And you have had things that didn't work out, but it's like, how are you gonna find out what works and what doesn't if you don't actually like go ahead and try it, right? That's how you gather wisdom. And I think over the years, you've really become even more rich and affluent with your resources, with your time, with what you do, with where you go. Um, yeah, people might think that you're just kind of going on a high instead of being grounded and like down to earth and rational or real, but really, I think they're just jealous of you. Yeah, no, you really understand how things come and go. You don't hold on to them because you see that there's no freaking point to it. There's no point to it. You've gained wisdom that they were afraid to go towards because they were kind of limited by the idea of like, I'm not going to get money, or I don't know when I'm going to get money again. I don't know when I'm going to have the opportunity to move on, and gain more resources, right? I really don't know when and where and how this is going to move forward. I just know that like I gotta make it paycheck to paycheck. I need to like have, enough month to month. And you're just not like that. You've never appreciated the point that like people limit themselves that way. You think that it's a bit like self-explanatory that it's scary to live that way, and that there's better and bigger things to be had or experience if you just don't hold on to things, right? And you have this feeling and an instinct of when to go, when to stay, when to, give it your all, and when to just skip the whole like situation and just not be bogged out by it, honestly. It's like you have an intuition with money. That's why you can live a little bit more carefree with how you tend to your finances, your resources, or your materialistic goods. You're not a person to just look to it and be like, oh yeah. I'll do whatever. It's more like, oh, I want to experience this. I want to do this. I want to be there. How do I do that? This looks interesting. Let's see how it's gonna go. Or I have like this balance and I can, set like this amount of it to be invested in this new project. Whether it wins or it fails, it's still a worthwhile investment because I'll know from this project if it, goes one way or the other where to invest otherwise, what other projects are more like fortuitous, etc., etc. And other people are kind of just stuck in the mindset that like everything is survival while you are just living. And I think a lot of people judge you for that because they're insecure about how they treat their resources and finances, and they wish they could be in your perspective or choose. They really do wish like they could just be living like you, but they can't because they don't let themselves go, like they don't go through the process of realizing this and gaining this wisdom and then trusting their gut about it and understanding that resources aren't just finite. If you treat it in a survival aspect, you will always be living paycheck to paycheck, but there's more to life than just being in this mode of make it or don't, Like that's just how it is. I feel like there's no other messages. And I'm kind of like, come on, really? Like there's no other freaking messages? Like, hmm. Yeah, I honestly feel like this rating is done so short and sweet to the point. I mean, I don't know. I would make the joke was of like money is time or time is money, right? So you got what you came here for and you got your answer and I don't know if you want more vibes on like how people view you, maybe you can find something about that in my channel. I've done a video about why do people love you, for example, and I'm gonna get to other readings about how people view you and other things, but yeah, this is it. This is it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had fun. I hope this resonated and helped in some way. Um, I'd say just keep on being you and let the haters be hating, because like there's always gonna be haters in the room, right? Especially if you're being your authentic self and doing what makes you happy. And you shouldn't, change that just because someone is jealous or envious about you, especially in terms of materialistic goods, right? It seems like you're definitely a bit of a bit ahead of the curve, even though I think some people might treat you in a superficial manner rather than actually accept the wholeness of who you are and how you move forward within your life, and that there's more to you than like your frivolous nature of spending all your money and being rich. Like I really don't think that's accurate or real about you. I think that's just scraping the surface of what, is face value by societal terms, not actually even you in any aspect of the truth of it. You're a deep person, but this reading isn't about that, right? So it's not really delving into that. It's just how people view you. So thank you for getting this reading and clicking on the video and spending your time here with me. And yeah, I hope to see you again in another pile or in another reading. Yeah, peace out. If you want to see more of me, go down to the description for the links. I do streaming and live tarot reads and pulls for free if you want to like, look into that. And yeah, have a good one. Hello, pile number two. Uh, hope you're having a good one. We're just gonna dive straight into it. It's kind of funny to me that the first two piles are aces. I don't know if they relate to each other in some sense or not. Either way, I feel like both of them have a similar message, except it's one is about pentacles, the other one is about swords. So, and they're using different like oracle decks, so that's quite interesting. But here it is a case of like I feel like people figure they figured out that you always find out the truth like you're not into no bullshit, and that sometimes you feel or seem to them as being naive or ignorant of the truth of the reality of things. Like they feel like they might, get one over on you. But then something happens where they realize and figure out like, oh, you always knew this. You always knew this was gonna happen. You were just acting like you didn't. You were just like playing the field, playing the game. You also aren't a person that wants to offend anyone or to be the know-it-all because you are aware that you're quite smart. You're quite ahead of the curve. Um, it's just that you don't rub it in people's faces because like why should I like prove myself to be this keen sight, this keen eye, and this really rational, um, logical person that is always one step ahead. It just doesn't serve anyone to be so upfront and arrogant about it. Like one part of you is like I like the point that I can be like secure because of this, but another part of you is just like, I don't, that's not how you connect with people. That's not how you create harmonious or happy relationships. It's just, it's just something that is really useful to you and you could use it to be sneaky or conniving or like clever or other things, but you're already clever. You don't need that to fuel or feed you going forward, right? And if other people are gonna undermine you because of it, well, then they can realize what the fuck is going to be the sword of truth coming back to them. And it's non-judgmental, it's non-whatever. Like sometimes it might feel that way to them because they tried going behind your back and it didn't work and it didn't go anywhere. But ultimately, it's literally you just being real, you just being authentic to who you are, you moving forward with all of that. And you're really kind of like a stickler for truth, honestly. It doesn't seem that way to people because yet again of what we said is kind of like, oh, you're just, naive, ignorant, or you're not looking at the right way or whatever. Some people that know this about you like really are like, why don't you use this to your advantage more? It's like if I was to use this to my advantage more, I would just be like the same thief and liar as everyone else, right? I know how to stand my ground or what not to say when I need to stay silent, but I'm not going to be out here manipulating everyone all the time to gain something. Like, if I need to kind of change the script here or there for everyone's like well-being or benefit or just to set some stuff up so it falls down, so be it. But I'm not going to be out here using this to my benefit to a detriment of like morality or ethics. My integrity matters to me way more. And you use this to realize human conditioning, how people kind of don't really go towards the right things in life, how they invest in things that just aren't good, and you use the point that they might want to use you or go behind your back as fuel somehow. You're one step ahead in the way that you actually are aware of it, and then you kind of stay. You kind of stay like a cheetah or a puma or whatever. Like you just observe, or a lynx, I guess would be more accurate, right? Um, and then you know when to pounce and make your move and do your thing. But you're not gonna be out here actually trying to maul anyone just because you can. That's how other people live their lives. That's not how you're supposed to be living your life. That's not how you want to live your life. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, right? There's like a deeper gift within this wisdom and vision that you have that you just use to your benefit for sure. For sure. When I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. So I feel like there were some things that you just kind of gave the benefit of the doubt with too, or the benefit of the doubt too, and then you realize like, damn, I really should have trusted my sight on this. I really should have believed in myself more. I should have not played it down or made them seem better than they were because all of the signs were there. Like you've had a past where you even ignored the red flags you saw because you care that much. Because you didn't want someone to turn out the way they did. And I feel like you've said to yourself at some point, like, never again, fuck that shit. If I gotta be hurt, like, about the point that someone is toxic, I'm just gonna be accepting of it and just leave it at that. Like, I really don't want to go through that again because it's kind of like once you go through that enough, right? It's a realization of like I've been given this site as a gift for my own benefit, in a way that doesn't, take advantage of others in a obtruse way or in general like it doesn't continue abuse or cheating of some sort, right? If I do need to use someone in a benevolent way and everyone's benefiting or something, like fair enough, I might take that chance here and there if it's not immoral. But ultimately, like, I'm not gonna deceive myself because someone else is looking like flashy or nice or cute or cool or whatever. Because I've been there, done that. And you've realized, like, no matter how much a person sees how smart you are or how wise you are, that they might still go against your better judgment just because they can use you or they see a benefit to that and that's just their character and you can see it ahead of the time, basically most of the time, or if not all the time. There have been some things you couldn't see and you just needed to learn from that and you accepted it, but other times it was literally you just doing a disservice to yourself and not opening your eyes. But you know that everything's kind of just bringing you back to the understanding that, like, we're all just trying to get better. Some of us are more hurt than others, and so we think we need to resort to things that we believe and know are not good, but they will help us make it through the day or the month or get ahead in life or be seen or be acknowledged, right? And it's kind of like I don't need that to feel whole. I can feel whole with my values intact, and my integrity here is the bottom line, and I'm coming back to myself in that wholeness each and every day, each and every moment, even if I give up on it sometimes, because I do feel like you've struggled with this. This feels like a destiny fate type of experience that you've really dug into, but you've definitely wanted like to opt out of. But yet again, it keeps opening your eyes and it keeps like reinforcing this ability of yours as well that you can just see through things. It's kind of like X-ray vision in some scenarios, or like seeing timelines and energy within circumstances, like the potential of what can happen. You can stop that. Like it's an evolving thing. It's not just seeing people or through people and their lives. It's literally now maybe as well, or eventually going to evolve. I think now though, evolve into like real manifestational abilities of viewing timelines and potentials and energies and etc. Like if you're gonna be in a space and you see something lingering in it as a vibe, you will know that there's going to be something that comes in that uses that vibe and you got to get out of there before that happens. Um, or that you're going to know like out of all the taxis on the street, you should pick that taxi. Like it's really important to not pick this one and pick that one because that one has good vibes. This one, there's something funky on it, and it's better to be safe than sorry. Like maybe you'll get away with using it, right? But maybe you won't. Um, and you're just accepting that it's way more than it's ever seemed to be. It's not just keeping you safe from malevolent people, it's also keeping you safe from certain circumstances and experiences in life, that other people can't really conceive or predetermine or understand to be there. You also know that this is a part of you that has not just kind of like pushed transformation and deeper knowledge and learning beyond what, all of our physical senses, contribute to, but it's something beyond it. It really transforms you deeper on a deeper level as a person. Like your consciousness works in a bit of a different way, and that's really attractive, which is cool, but at the same time, you don't really give a crap. Like to some extent, it's kind of like moths to a flame, and I don't want moths. I want I want people that actually get it and not BSers, right? Or people that are experienced and understanding and wise or have a depth to them, not necessarily people that are just going to be attracted to me because I have this view or vision or mystique, right? I want real connections and collaborations. But you've accepted the point that you're changing differently than other people, and your life is just in general a lot more unique than other people's, and that it's kind of connecting you more into your heart. Even though you're a very rational, logical person that's in the mind, it's kind of like there's something bringing you closer to spirit and the heart and the deeper meaning of things, and you've found a lot of gratitude and appreciation for it. And maybe now even you're seeing the point of how it creates like this manifestation ability within you to go forward within life, you know? Yeah, because there's definitely a lot of manifestation abilities with this, but mostly it's people just being super attracted to you. So there's something else with the butterflies here, but I can't quite. I feel like butterflies might be a personal symbol at a very particular stage of life for you, or maybe a particular experience that you've had, or time, something about timing within cycles of your life. Butterflies start appearing and they mean something. Yeah, there's something I'm hearing sirens outside, which kind of show me a sign that they're like a warning sign, or maybe they're just like an alert of some sort that this is happening in your life and you can't stop it no matter how the circumstance seems. You saw that butterfly, that's it, like it's changing, it's transforming, you're not going to be here in about a month's time or something. Yeah, that feels like that's more or less as much as I can read on this, so I hope you enjoyed your reading. I hope that helps. Thank you for spending your time here. I really appreciate it. If you want to see more of me, you can go down to the link tree below. I do streams and all that good jazz. And yeah, I hope to see you in another video or pile or whatever. And I hope you have a wonderful day. So, ta-ra, ta-ta. Hello, pile number t three. I wanted to call you two, but it's three. And I had 2727 on my clock, the recording clock. So you either might want to check those numbers out, or maybe there's something also in pile number two for you. I'm not quite sure. Um, there was just something that came through with that. Besides, what deck am I using? I feel like I'm using another deck that I didn't actually like take out here, so I'm gonna be back in a moment. Okay, so came back. This is the deck, which is it's been released not too long ago. It's actually from a fellow streamer. Um, that is his handle and all the rest. So yeah, it's a very weird site where you can buy it, but it is the only site I think where you can buy it. Maybe he's expanded. Either way, now you know the deck that I'm gonna be using, and this kind of flipped out, which I think might be just for someone, but not necessarily. Should I put it on the table? Yeah, I feel actually yeah. I guess it is meant to be on the table. So it seems like people might feel like you're a bit hot-headed, but also they just know you're a very powerful, fiery person that's really impactful. Like you have an impact and you don't hold back. Like fiery person that kind of just says what they have on their mind. They just go for things. They don't stop. They just go because the reason for that I feel is like you don't see a point in holding yourself back or doing things in a particular way that doesn't feel right to you. If you want something, you'll do it. If you think something's right, you're gonna, advocate that. If you're going to be a person that is gonna be happy within your own life and how you feel and move through life, you are going to go there, do that, not hold yourself back, not overthink, because other people may be more logical and rational or grounded, but you are a person of action, you're a person of movement, you're a person of impact, and you trust yourself, you trust your gut, even if you're making mistakes. Sometimes it has made you feel like you should slow down and not go forward so blasé or blazingly, but at the same time, you understand that you can't change your stripes. You can't change who you are, and inherently, that is who you're meant to be, and it doesn't matter who is going to say what about it. At the end of the day, that is just you, and other people literally see you like this go-getter that's not gonna hold back. You are somehow inspirational in that too, because a lot of people get stuck in their head and overthink things, and then they just look to you and they're like, this person doesn't even care if they're gonna make a mistake. They're just gonna go, and that's it. And we're gonna see evidence of them being there, doing that, expressing themselves, not holding back. The point that like you go this way is like maybe a bit there it runs hot is what I'm hearing. It runs hot, but you also have like this unparalleled force where you just kind of like lock onto something and you just create it and you just do it. You just don't let go. You just create what you need to create and it keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going and you follow through things till the end. Maybe some of you don't, but I feel like like all of you kind of start up real hot and you kind of just move in and just do things and you do see it through to till the end, or you are sure that even if that doesn't happen, it's kind of like fine. It had its time, it had its purpose, it had its moment. And if anything, other people can take it on and just finish it over if they need to, right? It's kind of like people that need startup people, fire starters, and then you need the other side of like people that are gonna finish it or like continue it, right? This is a bit of a mix of like mostly it's fire starters, but you can see things to the end if it has enough inertia, potential, and if it's kind of like a very set track from start to finish. If there's blips in it, you do get a bit. You can kind of like switch around and go to other things, and you might come back and finish it and do it. But ultimately, you're gonna be a person that is very like locked in with things that you can have that experience with, right? That you can consume yourself with. Because I don't think that those aspects or things consume you. You're the one that kind of like consumes them. And if you can't consume it, then you do as much as you can and you move on. And a lot of people wish that they could be like you, where it's kind of like a moment to moment experience of just being there and having that experience and seeing where it goes and what comes of it. But a lot of people don't have that power as you do. And even if they judge you for it, they frickin' envy you as well. Like it's kind of like there's pros and cons to this, but mostly they see the pros, even though it is definitely draining at times from like the outside in, looking from the outside in, where it's very fast paced, it's very stressful, there's a lot in the air, a lot of people also wonder and ask and guess like how do you even manage to do all of this? Like how do you keep your focus? How do you keep going? Like this is insane. This is insane. We can't really like manage any of this and you're just soaring over here. You're just like making the best out of it. And maybe you aren't feeling like that while it is happening, but they do feel that way. They're like, you don't get stuck in the details, you're not bogged down by overthinking, you're just taking everything as it comes, you're not suffocated by the future of it, and then you get these results where it's kind of like no expectations had. This shit worked out, and it worked out for the best, you know? And I'll make it happen again if I damn choose to and want to. overall, people see you as a person that really has a lot of fun, and you have a unspoken GPS that, or just a sense for things that other people can't follow and they can't go by and they just can't make sense of. But you have this like really attractive, fiery spark. Some people might feel like you're very sexy just because of this too, is another thing coming through. Like they feel like you are a person that is in their power and free and expressing who you are. I think to you it's kind of like I can't shut up for the life of me, even if I should. And they're like, you say what's on your mind, man. Like you always don't hold back. You just, come out here and just do it. And it's like I can't stop. I just can't. This is just the way I am. And you celebrate it as much as you can. You have as much fun as you can with it, but it doesn't always feel like that. It does feel like you're burning up sometimes, or it's just like, I don't know the saying. English is not my first language, so it's kind of like burning midnight oil or whatever, right? I don't know if that that's what I'm hearing and feeling, so take it for what you will. I don't know how to apply it exactly, because that's one saying I'm kind of like, but people see you as a person to really be celebrated. Everyone wants you on their team because they know that their success is like increased by 30 or 90%, either or, right? And they really, I feel like you might have had a lot of positive comments behind your back, or even just maybe awards given to you, or some type of like trophy vibes were sent your way. If you haven't gotten actually like actual trophies, I feel like you have though. I feel like you're attractive and very much sought after as a partner, or even as an entrepreneur. You might be a person that jumps from job to job, but you leave a really good impression in every single workplace you've been in. And a lot of your friends wish they could be like you because you're just not you're not held back by the inhibitions of everyone else having that, inner critic or whatever. Your inner critic is there, it just works different and people don't really understand that. So I believe that is it. I hope this has helped you. I hope you've enjoyed this. Definitely a very cool and interesting energy. Make of it what you will. I think you can be a bit more supportive towards yourself and how you feel about this trait of yours, because you can't get rid of it. You might as well live with it, right? And if it doesn't feel like that, then maybe it's sometimes just a perception thing of like how do you speak to yourself and do you empower or disempower yourself by this aspect that you can't get rid of. Yeah. Thank you. If you want to see more of me, I do have a link tree where there's a Twitch account and everything where I do stream and I give out free readings once a week or so. I also do some video game playthrough stuff, which might continue or might be discontinued. Either way, I appreciate you spending your time here, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace. Hello, pile number four. Let's get into it. I thought the readings were going to be way longer than they are, but they're not. They really are not. What deck are we using? I think I'll be using like two decks with you here. So, yeah. That's, I'm looking at this card and all I heard is greedy. Greedy. Someone thinks you're damn greedy. Because you just don't give away shit. You keep what you want to yourself. Like, I feel like people need to earn your trust and earn your favor for you to give them anything, whether it's your attention, time, or actual money and resources. And it's not from the point of you being greedy. Maybe at points you have been, and it is what it is. I feel like you've seen that within yourself, but you also don't care. I think it's just a case of like my shit is my shit. Your shit is your shit. You have legs, you have arms, and if you don't, there's still a way for you to work around that and sustain yourself. Why do you need a handout from me? Why do you need me to just give you things or to make you happy? Like you should be your own person. You've also had like, I don't know, authority figures look down on you and not support you, and it's really affected you, and now you kind of just don't care how people view you to begin with anyway, which is kind of funny that you clicked on this video. Like, I'm not saying anything. It's just I think it's all right. It's normal and it makes sense. It's just kind of also funny, right, at the same time. But I feel like people really wish that they could get in your circle. They wish that they could be a part of your inner kingdom. They want to have a piece of the pie. They want to be revered by you or sought after, and you really don't care. You don't go for things if you gotta chase them. You don't try and prove yourself, you don't like flaunt your talents, and you really don't like you're not a one to mope. You're not one to like be upset about anything or whatever it is. You just go forward. You just go forward, you just do your thing. You know who you are, you stay in your lane. If you can switch lanes at some points, you try that out, you see how it feels, but ultimately you know who you are, how you are, where you're at, and you're just okay with that. You don't take no fucking shit. And you're very abundant for it. And you're not egoistical whatsoever. You're not out here getting people or biting them or like using them or anything. You are a person that just keeps your shit to yourself and you then make it grow and multiply and support yourself, and you're not, underneath anyone. It feels like there's no other authority in your life except for you, and other people, you will help them if they really damn deserve it. I don't know, or you really, 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 really care about them, but even then, you're gonna try your hardest not to, because you know that ultimately it's not gonna help anyone. I don't know, something about your life and how things have happened. It's like every time I give stuff away or help people out, they just come back and mooch off of me, leech off of me, or bring problems to my doorstep. And I wasn't, oh my God, there was just like a frequency change in my right ear. It's like high pitched ish, but then it went like silent, and then it went back to being high pitched. I don't know if that means anything to anyone. I think like that was just a confirmation of like, yeah, I don't help other people out that way and people view me a certain way, but there's a reason behind it. It's not malicious, it's not egoistical. I'm not a greedy motherfucker, like frugal to that point. I'm just like I keep my stuff to myself, and I'm a individual that's self-sustaining, and I can work better in my own life that way. I feel like you don't even really like teams, but if you are in a team, then you're kind of like this isolated island of like, I'll do my job, you do yours. We're not mixing our crap together. If I can, I will also say like, hey, you look at me separately from my team, and if we do benefit from each other's efforts all together, then fine. But if we don't, I want to have my results that I am owed, even though we're a team. Because you know your worth. You really are aware of how affluent you are, how rich your energy is, and how much abundance in resources you really bring. And if it's not resources and abundance, it's stability in what is already had and it becoming even better and better and better and better. If you have kids, you do support them really well, but you're just not one to shower them with absolutely everything they need all the time. If you see an opportunity of teaching them how to do this for themselves, you're gonna take that opportunity and be like, look, I love you, but you need to grow up because you have a talent you can utilize, right? Like you can be self-sustaining. I won't be giving you no fishes. I'm gonna be giving you the fishing rod and showing you all of the best spots and where you can fish and what bait to use and everything else. I'm gonna give you a trade for life. I'm not gonna give you just like, handouts. Maybe I will like, shower you a little bit with some extra if it's your birthday or something. But even then, I'd rather you ask for what you need than just what you want. 'Cause I know you're gonna still come back for what you need and then give up on what you wanted, right? Like there's a wisdom about you, and I think it came from tough times and having to make ends meet. And other people can see that about you, but they really also just want it to be different than it is with you. I feel like you're a very down-to-earth, practical person. You're not egoistical, you're not full of yourself, but you also don't really give into like the woo-woo side of things. I think you have a faith about you, or you know that there's an unseen thing around things, but you base your life off of what you can see, sense, touch, and do. You don't give everything away to the divine or to unseen forces and etc. You know that you have their support when you really freaking need it, but ultimately it comes down to you and your wisdom, and it's what you're going to be making of it. You know that the things you can um, look to as being your, what do you call it? Being your materialistic, like, well-being, or the things that really are practically there, that matter, that mean something, that give value to your life, or that keep things going, like they're kind of the most important thing to you because you've seen what it is to be without, and so you know what it is to be with, and you always look to that with eyes of appreciation, wisdom, and gratitude, and you always hold yourself accountable and responsible for that, and you make the best out of this approach and skill set. And sometimes you're a bit offended at how people like disregard who and how you are because they don't know your story, they don't know who you are, but ultimately it's kind of like, I know my worth, I know who I am, I know how I am, and it is okay. Like, I will keep on being that way because I'm ultimately okay with this. I'm happy. If you're gonna be seeing me one way or another, then I know who you are and how you view me and what to do about it. You do have close friends, you have people that love you, you love them. Everything's fine on that front. It's just like people really do see you as like this very cold, cutthroat, materialistic person that only looks at like, these things, but it's like this is how my life is. Like I've grown up this way, you know. You went through what I went through, you'd be the damn same, but you out here judging because you never freaking had to, count your pennies, count your blessings, like make the most out of like what you have in the cupboard, or maybe even be homeless for a fortnight or longer and just figure it out. And I feel like I just had a little wave of emotion, which is just confirmation that like some of you have been there and went through the worst of what other people could not fathom. They just could not fathom. And yeah, you know that you've earned who you are and how you are, and you shouldn't be really giving it away. You do believe in higher forces of some sort or God, to some extent, because it's kind of like, yeah, you didn't have it, but you made it through it, and you've come back even stronger. You've come back even stronger, and it was through like the grace of something looking out for you and giving you that opportunity. It's kind of like when the worst happens and you still make it through it, it's not bad because you made it through it. It could have been way worse, right? It could have gotten to a point where you didn't make it through, but you did. And you've seen more of your resources come back to you with time as well. And if you do see someone that's in the same shoes as you do kind of help them. I feel like I heard someone say like, yeah, I do. Like if someone is as bad as how you were and you see that they can or can't make it, regardless, like you do use your judgment whether it's useful for you to help them out, you do help. Maybe you give into charities, right? Maybe you support your community financially in some way. there's a percentage of what you have that goes to a better and bigger cause because you have what you have and you're always gonna have what you need. And there's a part of you that understands like how this abundance works of yours and why you even have it to begin with. Sometimes you feel like you're called to even just be like that person of either wisdom that's shared or that comes in like an angel almost and is like, I usually don't fucking do this, but I see and sense and understand that you really need this and I will deliver because not everyone is as fortunate to be me, have my head on their shoulders or um have the opportunities I had and everything else, right? Like you understand that this isn't as clear cut or easy and sometimes you need to take a bow and not be as strict with it because you're not really full of yourself or that far into your ego. And when you are, you kind of do feel uncomfortable about it because you can see how easy it is to be cool and supportive about it, but then other times it's like I went too far. I could have just been nice, like why not? Why not, And you won't let anyone like put you down about it or make you feel mean or rude or crude or greedy or whatever. You have loved ones you love. You do everything you can for whatever reasons, either your community or otherwise, and you just progress through that. And some people are always gonna be jealous, so who cares, right? It doesn't change anything. Ultimately, people have an utmost respect for you. But the thing that's coming through here is kind of like I feel like this attitude or approach to life is closing out for you too, or is about to close out, or might in the next few years for some of you, not many, but some of you it is the next few years. Um, you do need to go through something internally of experiencing a rebirth or reawakening to who you are, because some part of your history and your story has made you close off and get a bit more like rougher and tougher around the edges. It's like calcified your heart in some places or in some aspects. Like you don't let yourself feel as much as you would want to. And there's something about how you view the toughness of all of this as like a predominant part and just like the way life works for you. Not everyone else, but you. And I feel like Spirit is saying, look, it doesn't matter all of this. You don't need to hold on to this. This isn't your identity. You can still do what you feel is right and, not really be a charity case walking around so people use and abuse you. But there's something about how you view things that is keeping you away from being relaxed and happy and secure. Like you've made it through the worst. You've made it through everything that you could have. Like the world is, the world is here for you now. It wasn't back then, and you were growing and learning, but now there's something to really transform into like a higher version of you where you look back, you go back to those experiences and you see them in a different and a new light because you've changed so much, you've evolved, you've grown, you're rich beyond rich in some ways, and it's kind of like time to go back and see what you've been through a new set of eyes because there's wisdom to be had with that. And 49 and 50, it's literally a progression of numbers. Literally a progression of numbers, as close as possible, top and bottom as well of the deck. Like there's going to be an opportunity for you to go back and overview what where you've been in life and gain a deeper understanding and wisdom that's going to make you a bit more relaxed and a little bit more rich in some ways as well, and is just going to help you have a different perspective that's Yeah, that's probably not going to necessarily change the way you conduct yourself in life, but it is going to change the way and how you feel in terms of resources, life, and how things come and go, and the predetermined attitude you have to all of that. Because you're a bit tough now, and it's like it's time for you to relax. You've been through enough. Might as well have these years of your life as something to be in joy of, not just like a battle hardened veteran or whatever. We are ready for you to be relaxed and more happy. Are you ready to be more relaxed and happy? Other people are gonna still view you kind of similarly or be surprised at your change, but it's not really gonna change the way you interact with them, it doesn't seem. So it's up to you, but this is an invitation to go through that portal. The worst of it is over and done with, and you're not going back anyway, right? The only way forward is up and forward, so yeah. Take the chance. I think that is everything. I think that is everything. Yeah, that is everything. I don't know why this felt like it took something out of me. I don't know what we were doing, 10:10 on my clock, but this does feel like it was a bit intense in some way. I think there's just like hidden emotions about this, and there's a lot that you had to ignore from other people and not given just to make it above water and all the rest, and just to keep your riches to yourself. But yeah, at the end of the day, you will never go back to where you were, and all of those people don't have anything ahead against you, ahead of you, or over you. They can't even. I don't think they can reach you, is how I would say it. Um, I feel like you might have like hoity-toity neighbors around you that just like if it's in the suburbs, you mind your business, but you know that all of them do not mind their business, and they look through the blinds and they're like, "Ah, did you hear? Bob frickin' sold his car and upgraded to this like new Jeep, this new Land Rover, and we're here with our frickin' hatchback. I can't believe that, man. And he doesn't even lend us 200, 300 like, bucks for some fixin' to need. Anyway, I hope this helps. I hope it was entertaining. I hope this resonated and you enjoyed it. And if you want to like see more of me, you can go down to my link tree. And yeah, I hope to see more of you in the next readings or in the next video or whatever. And yeah, I really appreciate you and I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful time or just a good enough day where you cope through it and it's just, there's something to be grateful for. So. Thank you and peace. Have a good one. Hello, pile number 5. I don't know if I messed up on the last pile. No, I think yeah, no, I did this. So number 5, only card that's upright, which is quite something. It's quite something. I mean, I feel like people just see you as a family-oriented person that has their shit together. And if it's not a family-oriented person, you do have like a happy either home, a really cool car, a freaking awesome PC that people envy you for, or something like that. Um, Maybe you have a really hot boyfriend, girlfriend, something, right? In general, they do see you as a person of affluence, but also there's something about you caring for your own community, your immediate circle of friends, who you consider your family. Maybe you're, a furry baby parent, and you really love your cats, your dogs, your parrots, your something, and people see you as a person that really is living it up compared to them in some senses, and they kind of wish they could be you, but the grass is always greener on the other side. I can't remember exactly what these dogs are, but I feel like I can't remember what I heard about who or what they are in the the story of tarot, but they're coming across as almost like hellhounds. They're not looking like hellhounds, but they are some type of hounds. It's like you do get hounded a lot. You have other issues that aren't related to affluence or materialistic goods, but you go through a lot of experiences internally that are like considered to be the dark night of the soul, or you go through a lot of ups and downs. Maybe you have mental health issues of some sort, and so you need to, be on top of that too, because it's genetic or hereditary, and or you've been through something that, regardless, that you've always had things work out for you materialistically. You've always been sorted, you've always had money, you've always had a good home or space or good food or clothing. Um, they don't know what you've been through in terms of relationships or internally what you've been through when it comes to maybe abuse, even of some sort within the family, or family not being there for you, or just humans not showing up, it seems like. Everything else, yeah, sure, fair enough, fine. I feel like even society has shunned you on some level for some damn reason. It's like everything works in terms of you being confident by the resources and materials you have, but when it comes to the things of like social support, emotional, like, well-being, or an exchange that's actually like wholesome between you and other people, you've never really felt comfortable. You felt comfortable in the things that other people really seek out and want to have because that'll make them feel better or more comfortable, but you know that that's just items. Like, it's just stuff. Like, yeah, it's nice to have it, but at the end of the day, you've seen how people can be happy without having as much as what you have because they have each other, because they have love, because they have family, and you've not had it. And I'm so sorry because I feel like some of you are getting emotional. Others of you, this is just like, yeah, fuck, goddamn preach it, sister. Like, goddamn, yeah, it fucking sucks. Like, I kind of do wish people saw me differently, but they don't even see this other side of me, or if you open up, they misconstrue it and throw it aside. Like, what do you have to whine about being sad or upset or having mental health issues over what? You have everything you need to be happy. Maybe you come from a rich, affluent family, but you know, or a family that's well off, but you yourself are mentally ill or disabled or have chronic illness of some sort. Maybe it's not that extreme. Maybe it's just like you feel alone in a world where you have an empire, but you don't have who to share it with. You don't have the company of being around someone. You just spend your days alone in your freaking, mansion and Lamborghini. I'm exaggerating, but apply it how it fits. And you really wish you could go and explore your life with someone else because you yourself exploring it is kind of like cut and dry and very specific and simple. It's really weird. I don't know why I have to say it. Maybe your pets are a big part of your life or something, but I have this tiger that's like a, I don't know, an astral familiar, you could say, which you could say it's just like an invisible pet if you believe in the woo-woo stuff of spirituality. And she literally sat down and kind of did like puppy eyes at me, like, and it was very, very emotional and heart like oriented. Like, it's making me tear up. And I wonder if your pets can sense the issue of like you feeling lonely, alone, and not having partnerships. I don't know why that was important, but if you have any sort of pets, either passed on or living, because passed on pets, a lot of the time they stay, keeping us company. They really love you. They desire for you to find partnership and friendship, and they're always going to be there for you to support you and have your best interests at heart. Even though it doesn't feel that way, even though maybe, sometimes, you have your ego come in and it's like, it's just animals. And it's like another part of you is like, no, that's not. These are my friends. These are my like children. This is my family that I really do care about. They're there for you through thick and thin, and they understand what you're going through, even if it doesn't look that way. And they try and help however they can. So, if you need to build that relationship with them, go ahead and do that. I just remembered a guy on YouTube that I can't remember what's it called, like Nala Stomps is the way that I can like hashtag it, but literally it's like Adventures with Nala or something, and it's a dude. I think if you YouTube that, you will find his channel. It's basically a guy that goes hiking and everything else with his um golden retriever. I don't know. Like I mix up Labradors and golden retrievers quite often. I've never had animals, so I'm not that good with breeds, but he literally has this golden retriever that I swear is just an incarnate human. Um, I swear is just an incarnate human, and something randomly just fell off my table, so it distracted me. That was weird. But he goes everywhere with her. He has such a happy life because of her, and it they have such a dynamic and such a vibe, and it's very heartwarming. And I don't think that guy needs anything else except for that dog in his life. Um, I don't know his whole story or anything. I just know his story with that dog and some other aspects of like I don't know being with family or whatever. But the point of it is like maybe you want to watch and like check that channel out to see how you could spend your time connecting with your animals and having that experience and having more fun traveling around, hiking, camping, going to certain places with your animals, right? Seeing if your cats want to go outside in a fucking backpack or whatever. I guess it's harder with lizards and parrots, right? But honestly, there's a guy in either, I can't remember if it's Ch Chicago or NY, yeah, or New York City. But there's a guy that literally takes his rabbit for a walk without any leash or anything. The rabbit is just running around like a damn dog, and he just calls it over and commands it here or there and talks to it. Um, and the guy's super happy about it. So there's something I feel like you could do with your animals to have a better and easier experience going through your life because you can, there's something about how you could use your resources and everything you have in a better light for you that actually helps you. Because I do see other people envying you, they don't get you, they kind of judge you without even understanding it. You don't connect with them, you don't feel good about them. In general, you kind of became a like I'm not a people person. And I heard like I really am not. Like you don't find the comforts of your life worthwhile? Excuse me. Okay, sorry. I just had a like coughing fit. I'm not quite sure what's happening since yesterday to me on that front, but we'll be moving on. Um I am looking after myself, but you honestly don't feel blessed by all of the material goods that you have, but there's a way you could be utilizing them that would make you happy. It's kind of like, how do you use what you got, right? And everyone uses what they got in different ways. And for some, it is like not having a lot, but having connections around them. Others, it is like having money and pets and a bunch of other things. I think involving more gratitude would be helpful to you, even if other people don't understand you and judge you for all of it. You don't need to get consumed by that because haters are gonna hate. They're gonna complain and say all of these things, and you know yourself better and your life better. But because of this like weird dynamic and personal experience, it's hard to detach from it and see the bigger picture and how it's kind of like a setup of a life with the question of like what are you gonna do with this? What are you gonna do with this? Right? Um, because you have something other people don't. Like, yeah, you see other people having stuff that you don't, And it's not judging you for feeling upset or not happy, but it is like, how do you want to invest in this? Because I feel like you still have people around you you do enjoy. If you have no people, yet again, it's about other things that you can do with the money you have, with the resources you've acquired, with the circumstances that you are involved in. Even though it doesn't feel that way or seem that way, this feels like it is bringing you to a higher level of understanding, a deeper knowledge of how life works or how you can make the most out of the least and vice versa. And what it is to really be like present and conscious in your own life and how to gain a deeper understanding of it or a wisdom that can kind of work for anyone as long as you really kind of give into it. Because I feel like you're very conscious and smart already. I feel like your soul is a particular soul. Whether you're an old soul or not, I don't think that matters. I think there's just a very concrete consciousness about you. I think you got things a bit more than other people since you were really young. You understood them more. You saw them more in a different light, and other people didn't. And maybe you even had arguments about it, but you're evolving in a way that is unique to you and isn't really quite common with everyone. And there is this energy of like a soul from the ethers that's really used to that and gets it, and when they incarnate, like they're really sharp, they see things um a bit more evolved than other people and whatever, like how that is kind of put into an experience and how that evolves through that experience, how you actually like come back to a deeper sense of meaning and purpose no matter the circumstances, even though they don't feel or seem that way, and like the struggle of it is a deeper meaning and a part of it. It doesn't seem that way, but it is that way, and you can make the most out of it. Like you do have support, it's just a little bit hands off because it's kind of like you are at the wheel, you have your perception, your how you attribute things really matters, what you do with them. Like, are you just gonna sit and then say, like, this isn't working out, I'm not happy, and people don't get me, and I don't have company, and I'm lonely, and I have these things, but what do they matter if I'm not, you know, in love, if I'm not around love, etc. And it's like, you are the love. You are the love. You just aren't tuning into that love because it's easier to get bogged down and upset, and it's always a choice. Do we keep on going this direction or do we go the other direction? Do we evolve through it and make the most out of it and see what that can really teach us and where that can lead us and what that can hone within us, or do we just get stuck in whatever? Because I feel like there's also at least one person out there you're meant to meet that's going to be fun, or there's a chance for you meeting like these people in singles, so like a group, but you meet only one person from that group, and it depends on your energy which person, when, or how you're gonna meet them. There's something about like the point that you're gonna meet a person that might be a partner or otherwise, but it is like you are plopped down here with a higher level of understanding or consciousness that is sometimes a bit too much or can be a bit overwhelming, and it's leading you towards a deeper wisdom that other people couldn't figure out because the darkness would suffocate them, whereas you, these superficial things and money and abundance and monetary like values, they feel empty because you feel empty. And you can make yourself feel in different ways. No one's responsible for your feelings except for you. So I'm saying it's easy. It's not. It's not. It sounds easy. It's never fucking easy. Happiness is a constant like practice and choice, and it gets tough sometimes, but the win of it is you choose it regardless, right? And you go through the ups and downs of it, and you take the lows, You take the wins, you take the losses, whatever it is. And you are in a very particular, like, confusing, uncomfortable spot where that is very much true, but also it's like a personalized maze. How do I get out of my head? How do I get out of this pain? How do I get out of this lack mentality when I have everything around me, right? Like where is the catch of this situation? It's like an ultimate puzzle for you. Oh my Lord. My heart, I feel like something hit there. So I really kind of want to take a break because this is intense energy, but I feel like we need to keep going. Yeah, so you have many options, but you do need to sit in where you are and make sense of it, like experience all of the sadness, all of the dread, all of the different thoughts you have and see like what can you shape differently with them? Where can you go in a different direction with them? Like, what can you do about it, right? Because currently you are quite suffocated by it as like this is a curse and a cross I cannot handle or I would like to bury, but I can't fucking bury it because it keeps coming back even though I ignore it. It's like you're not meant to ignore it. You cannot ignore it. It's meant to be a doorway you walk through if you just stop running away from it and look at it from every single angle and know that's not gonna like destroy you or kill you or suppress anything, right? It's not gonna bury you, but it will open you up to a bunch of different options you could take, and it is going to be a new beginning because you'll see like all of the different choices you haven't tried before, and it'll be even more scarier because you'll have to start taking action on them. But it'll be also liberating because you won't be stuck in the same old, experiencing the stuff that you do. And if you're wondering why the hell is this so much about you but not how people view you, I think you already know how people view you, and some of the readings today are more about how people view you, and the others are more about how you are viewing your own circumstance going forward because it doesn't necessarily matter. So, yeah, tarot kind of gives us what we need, not necessarily what we want or always set out to ask or do. That's just how cards work for me. That's just how it is for me. It'll cover like, the primary basis of it. If we can't dig into it, it'll go back to what is the most important thing for people. Maybe some people need to be aware of like how people view them, and others need to be aware of like how that is that, but then it's the important thing is you, how do you view yourself or your circumstance and why is it the way it is? So the recommendation and suggestion is seek and find your own power and capability and ability through the point of like digging into what really upset you growing up as a child and what you didn't receive or get and how you can give that towards yourself for yourself. You literally kind of you got like some energy that is of a dark seer, meaning you can get through this limiting belief and the difficulty of it, but it is painful for also a reason. It's like you wouldn't know what to heal if you wouldn't know where you hurt, right? Where the pain is, what it means. And this is the same thing. It's like stop avoiding yourself and the future you can make of it, and look to start like hunting down the things that make you upset or make you feel lackluster or out of your depth or whatever it is, right? Because it does stem from somewhere. I feel like you could have had a better time if people did pour into you and helped you gain a better perspective when you were younger. But that's also something you can go back through your own internalization and review. Maybe you have a really good therapist that could help you with this too. And and if you don't, you can always find a better one, is what's coming through. That just randomly came in. Channel is for entertainment purposes only. But the thing is, like, you can go back and treat yourself the way you needed to be treated when this was happening. You don't need to be bogged down by it and limited by it. You can go back and see where someone went wrong and how they were bringing you up and how you internalize it in a way that's now been stuck. And there's a bunch of pegs from your childhood kind of keeping this shit in and this emotion in, but you were also always already born with that emotion. It was kind of like those pegs were going to be clips that are holding that clothing on that drying rack, but you can go back and undo those pegs and take off that freaking whole clothing, right? I think that actually might kind of explain it because like something you were born with this like so someone you could say like put on those clothes, right, or that sheet or whatever, and then there was also the experience of living that just like knocked those pegs in, knocked those like whatever you call them, pincers, not pincers, whatever they are. And you can go back and undo all of that and do it up in a different way, however you want. Maybe you just don't even want to go back there. You undo it, and then you have a whole new world in front of you where you can experience yourself to the fullest and see the magic that you are and be empowered by it. Like, this doesn't hold you back, it doesn't put you down. It just inspires you to be like, I can do anything, I can change anything and everything, and I have a million bu like bucks in the bank where I have everything I need right now, right here, you know? I have a car I can just go on a drive with, and get my animals in the back, in the trunk, in the frickin' seats, and all of them are like vetted, they're healthy, they're happy, I can stockpile on enough goods for me and them. We can stay in all of these places and go on a radical, amazing adventure because now I can see my worth and I'm not held back by my story, by what happened to me. I'm not defining myself by these experiences because life just happens, but we are who we are. And that's the real magic of it. It's just like, if everyone could be happy and just achieve this and do this, then everyone would be already doing it, but not everyone has the guts and not everyone has the know-how and not everyone goes through that journey of learning to begin with. It is a personal decision of transformation and a choice no matter where you are or what's happening to you, right? Deep ass reading. Yeah, you, you use what you have to really come together with yourself, become whole and heal. You're ready to do this. Luck is on your side. Um, you have so much favor, but also you are your own favor. You have an ability that has still been yet to like be unlocked or be really totally shown. And it is a bit uncomfortable and a bit painful at times, but you're the best for it. You really are. You really are. And I'm sorry for what you've been through, but you can start changing it today. Even if it takes a while, it's gonna be worth it when you get there, right? Like you need to I've been saying this a lot recently on my stream and in general, like you need to use your legs and start moving, you need to like get up and do the thing, like move and do the thing, 'cause you can. Spirit believes in you and things will work out better than you would have expected it to. It will be hard to start the first step, but if you start feeling better or seeing results, that's your sign of like keep going through it and then you'll face one challenge after another and in between of those challenges there will be respite and victory that you can look back and appreciate. I feel like that is enough. I think that is all of it. I think you also got the longest reading for a reason. I think you've really definitely been through a lot, and I appreciate you like sharing your story and being here. Thank you so much for coming on by, having this experience, and I hope that, you take that chance on yourself and you believe in making gold out of lead or iron or even rust. You are a diamond in the rough. And some people envy you for the wrong things because they don't see below that, the awesomeness that you are, they just think like, oh, it's just the stuff around you. It's like, no, it's the stuff within you, you know? And not everyone's happy with the car, like the hand they are dealt with, but you are the one using it, right? Like, and you can make a bunch of great plays. It just depends on how you are, because the game has millions of probable causes, opportunities, shifts and changes, results, and so on and so forth. All right. Thank you. Um, I hope this has helped. And yeah, if you want to see more of me, there's a link tree down below with where I stream games and tarot, and also have a YouTube for games as well, and some other tidbits here and there. I'll be redoing the Etsy store soon enough to just only have um, tarot readings, because doing clearings and energy healings on it really doesn't freaking do anyone justice. It doesn't help anyone from what I've noticed. It just, yeah. So thank you, and I will see you next time in the next video. Peace.